Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I'm not even sure what day we're on. I know that we're in our second month, and it is the 16th or 17th day of Ramadan. So I would imagine that we're on day 40, 45. Apologies, I haven't been online. Obviously, it is a month of Ramadan, and it is my first month of Ramadan where I have been at home and not at work. So that presents its own challenges in the sense that I have no routine anymore. Our iftari and sahari just roll into one, subhanallah, and one finishes and the other one just starts. And so we are up now until at least 5 o'clock in the morning. So you can imagine. So it has its challenges, but it's nice being at home for Ramadan, and you wake up and you sleep whatever time you want. There's not this sense of urgency to get into work or to do whatever, although there is work that I have to do for school. I haven't been well for the last 4 days. Is it the coronavirus? It's just me being really down, and we've had another death, and I think it's that time of your life then, isn't it, where because of one's age you are then surrounded by people who are much older than you, and it's that generation, and perhaps now coming into my own generation of people who are passing away. So I think that does impact you quite a bit. But my reasons for not being online really is to do that with the fact that I'm just got nothing to say, or just not feeling myself, or not feeling that positive self. And it's a reminder to myself. And I was watching these on Instagram, and I was thinking actually it was something I used to look forward to. And the whole point I started them, it was just to motivate people through the lockdown period. And here I am, not motivated to do anything myself. So I said to myself, okay, Mummy, we'll start it tomorrow, inshallah. So what has been happening for this whole month then? Nothing much, to be quite honest. We're still going through the peak of the coronavirus, the COVID-19 rather, and the UK is now at the 4th position, where USA at the 1st. And then it's I think 3rd is Italy and 2nd is Spain. So we've got USA, Spain, Italy, and then UK. So UK has really come up from the 16th position to 4th position during this 2 months. 3 days ago there was a bit of an announcement to say that there has been no new cases reported of deaths anyway in Luton, which is a county that I'm from in Bedfordshire, and in fact within a few hours of that being said, there were 20 new cases, and yes, there was 3 more deaths, and again in our local hospital. Boris Johnson is proposing our slow exit from the lockdown, and he has like a 5-step, I think plan was 7 steps. By October everything will go back to normal. And although I would love to go back to normal, or whatever normal is going to be now, there's still a sense of fear. Because schools, I'm a teacher, so for me, yes, I love to be back in school, I love to see my children, mashallah, but for me, I've always argued that you can't, we get, as teachers, we get most of our viruses and whatever from the children. That they touch things, things are in their mouth and it goes everywhere, and they have no control of their bodily fluids and so forth. No matter what age you teach them, even up to year 6, there's still issues there with hygiene and everything. So I think there's a lot to be careful about, and although yes, we train our children, and I teach year 3, so 7, 8-year-olds, and although we do train our children, they're still, we can't I'm talking about social distancing in playground. How do you do that? In assemblies, or in just traveling through the classes. It's just not, or school. It's just very difficult. And yes, I think starting from secondary and colleges are a lot better because they're adults and, or, teenagers, and they still have that sense of, the ability to do that. Whereas the younger children, having them to go first, to start school first, I think is just incredibly wrong. And I know transitions from one year to another, transition from year 6 to year 7, and, from going into nursery and all that sort of stuff. It's very, very important. But children are learning life skills about being at home. Parents are getting to know the children, thank God. So and it's lovely to hear that people are appreciating teachers, and we look after 30 strangers in our class, and they give it the good, the bad, and the ugly. For and keep them entertained for most of the day before we hand them back. So I'm glad that teachers are being appreciated, and and they should be, rightly so. And obviously it's Ramadan as well, and mashallah, it's very different in the sense that Muslims, I think, it's found the fact that we haven't been able to go to Jummah. I think that's quite different. And again, it's my first Ramadan at home, and as I said, my timetables are all over the place, but I'm enjoying it because it's the first Ramadan that I can actually wake up for suhoor, and because I've never wake up for suhoor, because it's just near impossible for me to go to work the next day. And for my husband to be at home for Sehri, for Iftari, because he would go to work at that time. So I think it's been really nice. And the beautiful part of it is that my son is fasting too. He's I think day 16, and he's only missed 3 fasts. He's been praying with me 5 times a day, which again, when I was at work I couldn't do. But he's praying with me now, which is so nice. So has been a really, really good turning point for a lot of people. Just been appreciating the fact that we are safe. And I know the world out there, and we want to go out, we want to go shopping, we want to meet people, we want takeout. We've had takeout now for the last 3 days, and I thought, no, don't bring coronavirus into the house. But it's all doable, and I think just need to be sensible in what we do and our approaches. So it'd be good to know. I think they're going to say today, and I think I just missed it. It was a live conference from the house of from Downing Street, about what we're going to do and what is this exit going to look like and everything. So we will see. The proposal is June, first week of June, the primary schools will be opened. We don't know how that's going to pan out. We've only got 6 weeks left before we go to the summer holidays, and whether that's going to happen. We've got holidays planned and stuff, so I don't know what that's going to happen. But alhamdulillah, we've got less than 2 weeks before Eid, and all my Eid gifts have arrived, which is really nice. Amazon Zindabad. And I got my own mashallah ring that I've actually got on, that I bought for myself, and Alexandrite gemstone. I've had one of those before, and I just fell in love with this one. Small, but I love collecting gems. So not really much actually, at all. Nothing really to hit home about. Weather, beautiful weather outside yesterday, but I was too ill to go out. And today I thought, maybe I'll go sit on my decking, but it's raining, it's windy. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So that's the update. Nothing so fantastic, nothing so exciting, nothing to really celebrate, I guess, apart from the fact that we're all well and we're all safe. Just waiting for all this to die down and to see what life brings us and what's in the pipeline. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see what is going to happen and what changes, because it's a lifelong thing now, isn't it? I mean, there was an article in the paper that they've played down like children have got more immunity towards COVID-19, but there's been incidents where children have died from a strain of COVID-19 and that attacks the respiratory system, and really quite bad actually. So again, there's something to fear, something to be worried about. And younger children who now people say they need to go back to school, don't, we've been safe all this time, just keep going. we are so fortunate to be in a country where we have everything. So keep going until we know that we're over this. So apologies, and yes, it'd be nice to come back on screen. Thank you so much, and yeah, see you tomorrow.